Right. Let's see if things are happening. Setting up everything here to see if we're going live. See if we're going live. See if we are going live. Let's see if things are happening. Okay. Seems like we are live. I just want to see, I just want to take care of some technicalities. Let's see everything is running. Was tonight I'm alone. Okay, it seems like we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, winners. Maxwell Leadership Certified Coach Chris van Eck here. Welcome and thank you for joining me on this live session. I'm so excited. Sorry, it seems even there's something in my throat. Our topic for today's teaching is goals. Yes, that's correct. Today's teaching is all about goals. I just want to share the following quote by Tony Robbins. It's not about the goal, guys. It's not about the goal. It's about growing to become the person that can accomplish that goal. Friends, yes, friends, I am your friend, and you are my friends. Goals are all about growth. Something I want to share. If you have ever set a goal and failed and to achieve it, it has got very little to do because you are not talented enough, resourced enough, good enough, or having all that is necessary to achieve it. That failure came not in the process of trying to achieve the goal, but in the process of setting the goal. In the process of setting the goal. Yes, in the process. Because there are 5 mistakes we make when we are setting goals. 5 mistakes that we make when we are setting the goal. I don't care what it is, and I don't care how good you are. If you make one of these mistakes when setting your goal, you fail. We fail, or you fail if we set the goal. You set the goal and I set the goal, I fail. So I hope now you will hear me out in today's teaching about goals. You know, the funny thing is, friends, goal setting and goal achieving are 2 very different things. Goal setting is an intellectual process, and lawful goal achieving is another process. So, what do we mean by that? What we mean by that is, when we set goals, we use our intellectual faculties. In the book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, over a period of 20 years, he studied the lives of 25,000 people, and 500 of which were the most successful people at that time. Rockefeller, Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, the guy who invented the telephone, Thomas Edison, and the Wright brothers, to name a few. And the combination of these 20 years of study of these very successful people, he writes something in the book that which is pretty astounding. And it is, sorry, is that these guys didn't have an abundance of generalized or specialized knowledge that led them to great success. In other words, they were not smarter than anybody else. For instance, you and me. And that should be the good news to everybody or anybody who has read this book. Rather than they develop their intellectual faculties to such a degree that they could create, attract, or manifest anything, whatever it is they wanted in their lives. And the good news is we can also do that, guys. Like I just stated, they are not better than us. for that matter. Now that's a very powerful statement, isn't it? It is even more powerful if one understands what your intellectual faculties are. And I guess a couple of us doesn't know what I'm talking about. Now, this makes me excited. And you know what, friends? Like I said, most of us don't know what the intellectual faculties are. You see, friends, when we set goals, we need to use our intellectual faculties. But, and a big but, we need to use the correct intellectual faculty or faculties when we are setting goals. So, our 6 intellectual faculties, a nice tongue twister, are as follows. Memory, number 1. Number 2, intuition. Number 3, imagination. Number 4, reason. Number 5 is law. And number 6 is perception. Sorry, I'm fumbling over my words. It just shows I'm only human. So, unfortunately, when most people set goals, they use their reasoning faculty, which is faculty number 4, which was our reasoning faculty. So, keep that in mind, guys. And the challenge with using our reasoning faculty, it is based on our logic, based on our very best thinking or logic. And our logic is based on our current belief. Our current belief. Yes, our current belief can be a very dangerous territory to be in, or space to be in, mindset to be in. Our self-belief is driven by our physical senses. So we normally go by what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. The 5 physical senses. And that's the thing that we normally use to judge things, to probe things, to understand things, and to explore things. But the problem here is we never ever outperform our own self-belief. Think about that. Take a moment to ponder upon that. Sorry, not about that, upon that. Again, fumbling over my own words. It just shows I'm only human. And again, one's belief drives one's logic. One's logic drives one's reasoning. So you see how it works. Our logic drives our reasoning, and our reasoning drives our logic. If we set goals based on our current reasoning, it is highly unlikely that we will produce something beyond what we have currently produced in our lives. Now, I said, goal achieving is a lawful process, or a lawful process is goal achieving. And there are 7 laws that govern in us in the way we think and behave. I think that this entire universe operates by law. Now, we can call them universal laws. Now, as a person of faith, I see these as God's laws of the universal base. But there are exact laws of creation, and there are 7 laws that govern how we think, behave, and create. Let me rephrase, how we behave and create the things in our lives. And if we are in the process of goal achieving, when you are living your life in accordance with the 7 laws that govern the creative space that we are in, there is a whole lot of friction. A whole lot less friction. And another thing is there's a whole lot more harmony. There is a whole lot more predictability in the creation results. But I sure don't know what you like, but I like predictable results. I like predictable results, but I don't know about you guys on the other side of the camera. So let's go back to goal setting, as I said. Goal setting is an intellectual process using our 6 intellectual faculties. One of these are reason. Another is the memory intellectual faculty. This mental faculty we use. This mental faculty we use to recall or remember ideas, concepts, events, habits, thoughts, experiences, etc. And we recall this from our unseen, the subconscious mind. Yes, we have 2 minds, but we recall from our subconscious mind. And our paradigm, I've spoken about this, our paradigm is the thing that we operate on. But that is a teaching for another day. So, and memories, we remember in pictures in our mind. And for the most of us, we are setting goals using this intellectual property, memory. But the problem is, when we use memory, we look towards the past. So, when we are setting goals, the very first thing that we need to understand is that it is an intellectual process. So, we really want to only use 2 of our intellectual faculties. Only 2 of the 6. And that is imagination. Imagining what we would love to be, what we would love to have, or what we would love to do. What we would love to create or love to be in 6 months from today, 1 year from now, or maybe 10 years from now. And remember, guys, goal setting is a skill that can be developed. To achieve your goal, you have to develop the muscle of discipline. Not only discipline, but also determination and persistence. Why? Because you have to stay long enough in the game to achieve your goal. To achieve your goal, we have to stay longer in the game. The thing is, remember, goal setting is like going to the gym. When we go to the gym for the first time, we don't set the treadmill on the highest speed, or we don't pick up the heaviest weight in the gym. Even if we try to do that. I'm laughing because, yeah, I've made this mistake once or twice. Even if we put it on the highest level, even if we pick up the heaviest weight, I can guarantee you the next day, you'll be out of the game. You will not be able to go back to the gym. You'll either tear a muscle or you'll get injured or something in that line. So, attention. If you are new to goal setting or you have been out of goal setting for some time, think about this. Be careful. Let's take it step by step. Try setting a shorter term goal, as this will help you to stay focused and it will keep you into the game to achieve your goal. For example, if you set the goal for a week or set it for a day, thus when setting your goals, we want to use our imagination as we want to set our future good. Our future model of perfection of where we want to go. Let's say we are using our memory of the past and remember all the mistakes that we made and all the failures and all the bad experiences we had in life. We actually want to go beyond by using, we actually want to go beyond, let me rephrase. We actually want to go beyond this bad experiences, the setbacks, the mistakes we made, the failures we had. This is why we use our imagination, intellectual property or faculty, so that we can go beyond by where we are currently. See, memory references our historical past. Imagination, and I repeat, imagination, used properly, defines our future possibility, guys. Take a moment, ponder on it. It defines our future possibility. The second intellectual faculty we want to use is our intuition. We have been given an intuitive faculty. I love how Dr. Wayne Dyer, or maybe he's not a doctor, maybe it's just Wayne Dyer, puts it up, guys. Prayer, because I'm a man of faith, when we talk to God intuitively, sorry, let me rephrase. Prayer is, I said it wrong. Prayer is when we talk to God intuitively. But intuition is when God speaks to us. Intuition is that part of us that knows that we know. It is that inner part of intuition. Is that sixth sense. We cannot put our finger on why we know, but we just know we know. And our intuition is that kind of our internal GPS, our internal guidance system. Isn't it? We just know that this is the next step. It is something which is emerging from our soul, and we become aware of it as it emerges from our soul. And when this idea comes into our awareness and it registers as a desire, we then begin to invoke the use of our imagination of what our life can be. That, my friends, that's the energy vortex that we want to enter into when we are setting our goals. Okay, now, before we launch into our goal setting, we need to understand that we make a lot of mistakes during this process of goal setting. Think about this, guys. When we are setting goals, or before we jump into the process of goal setting, there are some mistakes that we make. So, the first mistake in goal setting we make, guys, and most of us makes this mistake. We set goals on that we know we can achieve. And this is basically a performance goal. Man, this is a goal that anybody probably can achieve in life. So now, like I said, now most individuals and companies do this all the time. We see it when this company sit down collectively as a team, and we'll let's say I'm part of a company. We will sit down and we will have a discussion in collective teams, and we will agree that we know that we can grow 10%, and every year we set goals to get 10% or grow 10% or get 10% growth in a year. Basically, they set goals of what they know they can do. let's say for people who want to lose weight, that person will get onto the scale and look down and say, I need to lose 1 pound or 1 kilo or 2 kilos or 2 pounds or whatever the case may be. And this is something that we know that we can do. So we make that our goal for the week. Setting a goal based on what we know we can do. Like this, we probably already surrendered that goal and we lost our way. And most likely quit on it. And this is the reason why most of us set goals based on what we know we can do. Because we know we are in a safe and comfort zone. We always feel safe in our comfort zone. That's why we don't like to do things that we don't know. And this is one of the things that we normally like to revert back to. The problem is, as soon as we step out of our comfort zone, life greets us with a big punch on the nose. Bang. When we step out of our comfort zone, we are immediately faced with failure and discomfort. And we don't like failure, or we don't like discomfort, guys. I don't know if anybody who likes to fail a test, or anybody that likes to have some discomfort. I still have to meet that person. Maybe somebody had, but I don't think I have. Please comment below if somebody has met somebody like that likes discomfort, or had some who likes the setbacks or something like that. I don't think there are people on this planet like that. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be right. So we meet with our challenges, which we have never faced before. Also with some obstacles we have never overcome. We have to deal with people and situations, and quite frankly, we do not have all the resources to do it. It is all new to us. And like I said, it's challenging. So think of it this way. How many times have you stood and fell, stood and fell, stood and fell? How many times? Think about it. How many times have you stood and fell before you could stand? While you were trying to take the first step and fell, and took a step and fell, and took a step and fell before you could walk. Which is even worse. You got on a bicycle, how many times you fell down and got up? You see, whenever you're doing anything new, the first ingredient is usually failure. You know, I usually say when I need to make a big pot of success, we have to grab a big jar of failure, add it and stir it, because that's the first ingredient. And that's also the dominant ingredient to get us moving from point A to point B. Because it is the failure that will get us the feedback. Yes, it is the failure that will get us the feedback to get us to the next level, so that we become aware of our resources and our capabilities within us, not outside us, within us. And I would suggest, when you're setting goals that you know you can do, if the reward isn't big enough, And the pain is great. See, the pain is going to be the same whether you grow into that person or grow your business or trying to lose that weight or to gain 10% more income or to go to the next level or whatever it is. As soon as you step out of as soon as we step out of our comfort zones, we are going to get whacked. Boom, on the nose, smack bang. As soon as you step out of that zone, as soon as you step out of that zone of knowing, you will meet, I will meet, we will meet with failure. Remember, the pain is going to be the same, irrespective of the size of the goal, irrespective of how big or how small it is. So, again, as soon as you step outside your comfort zone, we will find some challenges and failures, or we will meet with some challenges and with failure, for sure. And remember what I said previously, and if the reward isn't great, and the pain is greater than the reward, for sure we will quit. Thus, in some point in time, we will, you will, all of us will say, it isn't worth it. And that's the time we will quit. Maslow said it the best, that we either step forward into growth or we step backwards into safety. We either step outside the zone of knowing and we continue to grow, or we surrender, surrender the dream or the goal, and we step back into safety. That's why I say, friends, use your imagination and set big goals. Set big goals on what you love, what you want to do, and not what you want to do. Question that I have for you guys, or for all of us for that matter. Where would you love to be 30 days, 60 days, 1 year, or 5 years from now? Take a moment and think about that. Take a moment and think about that. So in conclusion, the first mistake we make when setting goals is we set goals based on what we know we can do. And that, friends, is a big no. We should stop doing or setting goals by things that we know we can do. So let's see who can spot or who can guess what is the second mistake that we make when setting goals. I don't see anybody posting in the comments, or don't say anybody. If you can hear me, post the 1 in the comments or type a 1, or if you watch the replay, put the hashtag replay. But a mighty shout out to everybody that joined in tonight. Right, the second mistake that we make in goal setting. We set goals based on what we think we can do according to a plan. Unfortunately for me, this is one of my biggest mistakes, because I'm one of those planning guys. I like to make lists and I look at all the conditions and circumstances based on the conditions and the circumstances I map out in my plan. Now, I look at my plan as to how I'm going to get from point A to point B. And then based from my plan, I normally look at what's happening with the housing market. I look at what's happening in the stock market. I look at the oil price, or who is governing the country, or is there peace or war somewhere in the world, or which political party is in control. Or based on the number of clients we have in the pipeline now, or based on our vendors distribution, or all kinds of conditions and circumstances to work with, we begin to predict as to how to create this massive plan. But then based on this plan, we say, okay, after we had a look at the plan, we derived everything from the plan, and then we decide, right, now I'm going to set a goal. And now I can go after that goal. Man, this plan drives us. This plan makes us, how can I put it? Drives us, makes us, it gets us excited. And this is where the problem comes in. This is where the yogurt hits the fan, or the pawpaw hits the fan. And this is a big problem. Remember earlier I said that there is a big difference between goal getting and goal achieving. Goal achieving equals living your life from a lawful process. And this is when we understand the laws of creation. You know, one of the laws of creation is the law of vibration, the law of movement. If you want, this law tells us that everything in the universe, from the smallest atom or electron to the grossest, I'm talking about the size, not the baddest or the worst. The grossest form of matter is in constant state of change. Constant state of change. So everything is in movement and is changing all the time. We live in a dynamic world, friends. We don't live in a static world. As a matter of fact, the building which I'm sitting in at the moment is busy falling apart. This building is busy falling apart. But now you will say, if it's falling apart, why don't you get out of the building? This is the first thing that comes up in all of our minds. So if we only rely on our physical senses of sight, and we look at the building, and it doesn't look like it's falling apart. The thing is, because it is happening so slowly, but intellectually, we know that this building can only do one or two things. It is either in a state of creation or in a state of disintegration. This building is in the process of disintegration. It is in the process of falling apart. So now what do we do? We're either going to maintain the building, or we're going to work a plan to keep it, or to secure it from collapsing. So this is what we do. So if we set goals based on some plans, or based on some circumstances and conditions as they are, well, what happens first? What happens first? All we know that circumstances or conditions, circumstances and conditions, we know that they change. They all change. And how many times have we seen the stock market going up and down, the oil prices changing, and all of a sudden, where there is peace, there is war, and where there is war, there is peace, and vice versa. So when we are going to set a goal based on this, all the circumstances and the conditions which have changed this plan, all the things that have changed is causing this plan then to become basically useless. And the problem is, the worst thing of this is, all of our emotional involvement, investment, which we've invested emotionally into this plan, is went to the dryers or the dry cleaners. And you know what? Companies like to set goals according to a plan, and they spend enormous amount of hours and time and money, and they get a lot of people, how can I say, high flyers in the company around the table for weeks on end to set these goals. But at the end of the day, by some change in the stock markets or the oil or whatever, the yogurt hits the fan and the plan doesn't work, and then everybody wants to change the plan, but then management intervenes and they say, no ways, we spent too much time and effort and all the investments is in our plan, so we cannot afford to change it. So everybody knows the plan, or everybody knows what the plan is, but no one knows what the goal is. And there's no investment in the goal. John Maxwell teaches us one of the laws, the law of the big picture. He puts people into the picture. The law of the big picture put people in the picture. It sounds funny, but people cannot, like us, we cannot see ourselves in our relationships to the goal. We or they can only see themselves in relationship to the plan. And so very rarely, again another tongue twister, do we ever surrender the plan. We very rarely ever surrender the plan. So the strategy is now to lower the goal. We lower the goal to meet the plan. So, in conclusion, the second mistake we make when setting goals, if all of our emotions goes into the plan and not into what we want to do, be, or have, we are doomed, friends. We are doomed to fail. And we will not achieve that goal. So, think about it. Third goal setting mistake. The same thing goes when we are setting goals. The third mistake is based on the outside influences, the things that's outside of us. This is where we require knowing exactly how to do it in order for the goal to be. Now think of this this way. Whenever someone says he or she has got the goal, if somebody says he or she or I has got the goal, or we have a goal, how many times have we heard this? That when one of our friends or a family member of us or a co-worker will come up and they will ask us, how will you do that? Or where will you get the time to do that? Or where will you get the customers? Or how are you going to do that? We have to look at the implication of that statement. If you don't know how, then you can't. And once that little question arises, we start taking inventory of where we are at, of our income, our skill sets, our finances, our talents, our abilities, all these results will start to predict that this dream that we have is either unachievable or impossible to achieve. See, then the excuses starts. And we start to tell us that we cannot achieve this goal. And guys, excuses are actually disguised as lies when we are trying to set goals based on the how-to principle. If we are looking for how, or the how-to, based on our current inventory, skills, finances, education, etc. For sure, we will always fail to achieve our goals. We just need to go ahead, set the goal, just go out, set the goal, and this little question will not pop up. This little how to. Just go out there and set the goal, or set the goals. Now think about this. I don't know if you guys know who introduced us to flight. It was the Wright brothers. You know, they had so much resistance. Their father, who was a preacher or a pastor, even told him, if you guys you guys are thinking of something that will let you end up in hell, and you'll burn in hell. These two guys went out and they had this crazy idea to introduce mankind to the kingdom of flight. And the funny thing is, they didn't know how to build a plane. And once they built it, they didn't know how to fly it. Nevertheless, or they didn't even think about this. When they were in the air, how are they going to land this plane? And for that matter, they didn't even know how to fly, and now they have to land the plane or bring it down again. But here comes the answer. Here comes the answer. They knew how to suspend the requirement of knowing how, or knowing how to. Oh, that's good. Suspend the requirement of knowing how. You are not going to know how to do it. You are going to fail your way forward all the way until you do know. You're going to fail your way forward until you know how to do it. John has written a book, Fail Your Way Forward into Success. I think it's right, maybe. But yeah, fail your way forward. So guys, just set the goal, fail your way forward. Don't sit back and think on how to do it. Because once that question arises in our minds, everything, a little guardhouse comes tumbling down. Our dreams just scatters. So we need to take action, and we just have to set the goal and go. We have to stay away from the naysayers, by the way, because they have the tendency to say you cannot do it, how are you going to do it? Try and stay away from these people. So in other words, we have to pretend we do not know how to do anything until we have done it. This is a good one. Pretend we do not know how to do anything until we know how we have done it. Until we have done it, yes. See, if I'm sitting down like I'm sitting down now, and I was to tell you that I was going to stand up, but I don't know how to stand up, and I just get up, but I didn't know how to do it until it was done. Then I can come and tell all of you how I done it. I mean, it takes so many muscles. I had to do this and I had to do that. Then I can tell you. how to do it. As a matter of fact, we have to do something which we doesn't know, which we don't know how to do, and until we do it, and then we can share it with everybody else, or until it is achieved. Forget the how to. Just know why you want to do something. Just know why you want to do something. Find your why. Find your why, and then you'll know why you want to do it. Guys, start by taking one step at a time. Just one step at a time. And remember, you will be faced with failure. Not only you, all of us. Just keep going and learn from your mistakes. And in this process, the identity of the next goal will make it so much easier for us. We need to face mistakes to keep going and learning out of our mistakes. And remember, guys, this is how we will be growing. I love this statement, man. Suspend the requirement of knowing how. I think it's something that one should write down and put it somewhere where you can see it. Every day, write it down, put it on your mirror, put it wherever you can see it, put it on your computer as a screensaver, put it on your phone as a screensaver for that matter. I just love this. But if you are going to require, that you know how to do what it is that you want to do, you're going to stay in your zone of comfort, and you will never, ever into the process of goal achievement. And this, my friends, is a deadly mistake. I must congratulate you and thank you very much for allowing me to serve you on your success journey, for making it thus far. Only 2 more to go. Only 2 more to go. I hope you guys want to hear what is number 4 and number 5. Thanks for staying so long. The 4th mistake of goal setting we make. We question our right to be. We question our right to be, do, or have whatever it is that we want in life. We don't fully understand the game of life in the respect of what we are training our lives. One degree of the truth is that you are watching a teaching right now. But in the spectrum of truth, in a higher spectrum of truth, you are training your life to watch this. You could have been spending time with your loved ones, spending time at the cinema, spending time at the gym, or spending time reading a book. You could have done all kinds of things that you love. See, friends, time is your time. The time that you are spending to watch this teaching right now and being part of this series, you are trading your life away. You're trading your life away. You'll never get this time back. And it is my goal to make it worthy for you on the return to receive the prize in what it is that you have invested. When you set goals, you should ask if the goal is worthy of you. You should ask if the goal is worthy of you, because you'll have to try your life. You'll have to try your life. If you are going from point A to point B in your life, it is going to require some serious sacrifices. Serious sacrifices. And you have to know this, that the law of sacrifices are coming into play. The law of sacrifices states that we need to be willing to let go of things of lesser value, for the attainment of something of a higher or greater value. We need to define what it is in our lives, what has a lesser value and what is of a higher value. And guys, friends, you are of a higher value. But most people has a hard time acknowledging that as a matter of fact. The problem is, it's because most of us have been programmed, and the programs teaches us not to think. The system is programming us not to think. So we think, and the program tells us that we think this is arrogance, that we think we are of a higher value. Take note that this is not arrogance. It is awareness that we are God's highest form of creation. That we have dominion over all things. Abundance is your and my birthright. So you should never question yourself whether you are worthy of wealth, success, achievement, or anything for that matter, as we are the highest form of creation, and we have dominion over all things in abundance, as it is our birthright. James Allen says, although our thought is the highest function of what we are capable of. Until our thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. Until our thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. Think about that for a moment. And again, you should never question your worthiness. The only way that you will be able to add value to other people is by you becoming aware of our skills, our talents, our ability, our resources, our significance, our influence. Those are the things that we need to become aware of. See, we cannot export something that we don't have. I normally say we cannot give what we don't have. Or, for that matter, which we don't claim in our lives. We need to understand which is our true worth. If we don't understand our true worth, we will never be able to bring it forward in the world. We will never, or you will never, reach your true or highest potential. And that, my friends, will be a waste of potential. Sorry to say that. Sorry to share this. And this is another deadly mistake which we make when we are setting goals. When we are questioning our worthiness. But rather than questioning the goal, if the goal is worthy or equal or worthwhile for trading our lives for it. Maybe I said it upside down. Rather than the goal worthiness as we trading our lives for it. Something like that. I hope you guys get it. So yeah, never ever question your worthiness, as we are the highest form of creation. We can do, be, or have anything that we want in life. Remember, a dog can only be a dog. A cat can only be a cat. A tree can only be a tree. But we can be, do, or have anything that we want in life. But that's a teaching for another day. The fifth and the final mistake we make in goal setting. And that is, we think that the purpose of a goal is to get the goal. We think that the purpose of a goal is to get the goal. Listen carefully. The purpose of the goal is to never get anything. Is to never get anything. And I can see there's a couple of jaws that dropped in my mind's eye. The purpose of the goal is to cause you to grow. The purpose of the goal is to cause you to grow. Its cause is that you become aware of the resources and the potential inside, not outside, inside of you, that living the life right now doesn't require you to become aware of. In the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Hill writes that there are reservoirs of deep talent and abilities deep inside of us. Deep inside of us. You see, if we do not have a goal that causes you to get it outside of your comfort zone, that doesn't cause you to stretch, if it doesn't cause you to stretch and grow, that is putting you in a failing position. And the problem is we will never become aware of our true potential. See, there was a time at which there was a time that you could stand up and that you could walk. And then again, in spectrum of balance, you could balance. In that way, it was great. But if we wanted to learn how to ride a bicycle, you and I had to become aware on how to balance in a different level. So again, we have to become aware of the different resources that we have inside of us, as we have to balance in a different way. And to balance in a different way becomes a desire to ride the bicycle. If you put it in another perspective, to ride the bicycle is the goal, the dream. And then it forces us to enter into the growth zone. And in that zone is where we failed, where we fell from the bicycle. And then we got back onto the bicycle. And that's where we became aware again of our inside potential. Now, here is the interesting thing. Most of us never take that journey alone when we're trying to ride a bicycle. For most of us in our life, when we have done or achieved a great accomplishment, no, we always unknowingly or where we get stretched and we failed, And I would suggest that if you navigated that to success, you did so first probably on the bar of belief of someone else. And second, you had a coach or a mentor, or someone who came alongside of you and helped you or me alongside of us, who helped us, guided us. That somebody knew the way and they helped us in the beginning along the way. Because that person, coach or mentor, knew how to ride the bicycle. And they believed in us first before we believed in ourselves. But it also works the opposite the way around, because we wanted to prove to our mentor, coach, or the person who taught us how to ride the bicycle, so by the bar of belief of the coach, we will first believe that we can achieve this process. And that's where we become aware. And this is because of the more potential inside of us. This is where we get the confidence from, to become the person who could do that. Like Gandhi said, be the change. Not go and get the change. Be the change. So, the purpose of a goal is for you to grow. And the real purpose of a goal is to cause the urgency inside of us to grow. It's to cause the urgency inside of us to grow. And why is that so important? Because urgency sets up the law of gender. And the law of gender tells us that there is an incubation and ingestation period for all things to grow. Now, friends, we just don't go out there and plant the seed and overnight it's there and now there is an incubation and now we can take the fruit or whatever. No. There is an incubation and ingestation period. And it's the same with our dreams and our goals. There's also an incubation and ingestation period inside of us. So we'll have to grow. You'll have to grow in your awareness of your potential. You'll have to grow to become aware of all the deep levels of reservoirs of potential within you. You'll have to become aware of your ability, and you'll have to develop those abilities which will cause you to stretch and grow. And you'll have to do those things you have never done before. You'll have to meet those people you have never met before. We will have to fail in areas which we have never failed in before. And in ways that we have never failed in before. And we will have to take risks which we have never took before. We will have to make investments in ourselves. Listen carefully, guys. We have to make investments in ourselves, or we will have to make investments in ourselves. But the problem is most of us has never invested in ourselves. Sad part is, for most people, have never bet on themselves. Think of it this way. If you go to a casino, you take all your chips and you put it in one number. Why don't you put all those chips on yourself and bet on yourself? You know, we normally choose to play it safe. Play it safe. And live a demarginalized, diminished life rather than a life of abundance and dominion over all things that is our birthright. Most of us operate from better safe than sorry. And I'm going to share with you that this is the new risk. And it's for me, I don't even want to share it really. The new risk is playing it safe. And unfortunately, this is a global economy, whether you like it or not. You have to be growing and developing yourself. You have to be stretching and growing. You have to be adding value to yourself on a daily basis every day, just to stay even friends. Thus, the purpose of a goal is, it is never to get anything. We need to understand that. The first law of receiving is to give, and it's not to get. When we are, or when you are in the goal setting process, remember, the purpose of the goal is not to get. But it will reward, but it will be the reward when you become that which you grow into. It will be the reward when you become that which you grow into. That will be the reward. When you grow into that, you'll understand that this is the lawful process, and that there is an incubation and gestation period. Then we will be kinder to ourselves, and we will be gentler on ourselves. And we will give ourselves permission to take 2 steps forward and maybe fail 1 or 2 steps backward, and take another, and then we will take another run at it. And so we will do this with understanding, because normally what we do is we are too hard on ourselves. If we don't achieve the goal, or if we don't reach the goal, which we set, because goal setting is goal achieving. And that's why we quit most of the times. So before I go, there's 5 action steps to success in goal setting that you can take. We need to know, the number 1 is, you need to know what you want. Write it down clearly. All right, or maybe put it this way, maybe I put it upside down. There's 5 action steps to success. 5 action steps to success. And that fits with goal setting. Set your goals, know what you want, and write it down. Only 5. The top 5 goals that you want to achieve. Review your goals daily. By doing this, you keep your goals fresh in your mind. Number 3, take action. Write down 3 key action steps which you can take toward your goal. Guys, we need to visualize. What we mean by visualize is visualize and feel what it would be like when you complete your goal, or when you achieved your goal. Get into that mindset, that feeling, how it will be when you've got this. Let's say you grew your business by 10%. No, that is the wrong one. Let's say you set a goal that you thought was impossible. Okay, you guys get my point. And never settle for less. Again, don't question your worthiness. Promise yourself, no matter how many setbacks promise yourself, no matter how many setbacks you will have, never settle for anything less than your dream, your vision, or your goal. If at first you don't succeed, try again, try harder, think of a better plan for the path to your goal, and never change your goal. Always change the plan or the path. Never change the goal. So guys, as a Maxwell Leadership Certified Coach, I'm Chris, your friend. I'm there to support you. If you are interested, my friend, send me a direct message on Messenger or mail me at chris@positivemindset.co.za. I can support you to achieve and help you grow into that goal, whatever it is that you want to achieve. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry, it's been a longer teaching than normal. And thanks to the guys who saw it out. Please comment below if you're watching the replay. #replay. Feel free and share this to your friends and family. Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to serve you on your success journey. And